Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 2, Manchester City 4 at the Ohio Stadium in front of 72,000 fans in the USA. Match number 4 of the GBFC pre-season tour. If you haven't already seen the match vlog, I strongly suggest watching it. Even though it was a loss, I give you more of like a behind the scenes, what is it really like here in the USA? And as well as that, it's my 30th birthday on the 6th of August when Chelsea play Real Madrid, and I would absolutely love to hit 300,000 subscribers before or on my 30th birthday. It would make the occasion that much sweeter and that much better. But let's talk a little bit about the game yesterday for Chelsea, because I was excited in the build up to this one. You guys have been at me in the comments of the match vlog saying, Benson, you overhyped us too soon. And to be quite honest, I think that is what pre-season is all about. It's about getting a feeling about the positives, getting a feeling about the things that need serious work. And I feel as though despite the result and despite the defensive performance being lackluster, with wanting to find many worse terms than that, but without swearing, it was a shambles, it was abysmal. And that is the issue that we have right now. And I'm going to talk to you about the reasons why the setup right now is the flaw at Chelsea. I don't necessarily think it's about the players not being very good. I certainly feel as though when you look at the transfer window so far, it's a weak window. We haven't really signed any real go straight into the first team apart from Dewsbury Hall. I think Mark Gu's a good signing, but overall, I think Chelsea do need more quality if we're going to be able to compete this season. And I think at the moment, the club is talking about wanting to get back to winning trophies. I've seen on the tour that Gary Cahill has been invited by Chelsea, and every location that Chelsea go to, Gary's asked about what it's like to be a Chelsea player. And it's about winning trophies. We've won Premier Leagues, we've won Champions Leagues, we're used to winning domestic cups. And all of a sudden, we do seem very far away from that. And it isn't all of a sudden. It's been a progression. And it looks to me as though there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done between now, the beginning of the season, and any kind of potential of Chelsea winning a trophy again. And I think when you look at the game yesterday, the way that we started this game is criminal. And it's criminal because, first of all, the referee was shambolic yesterday. The referee was awful. He was booking Chelsea players the moment they commit one foul, straight in with a yellow card, which I think made us a bit more tentative. But it's the simplest, softest penalty that you will ever see for a foul. I think it's from Levi Colwill on Erling Haaland, who goes down as if the man's been shot, which he clearly hadn't been. I don't think it's a penalty. But the issue that I have with the way that we go 2-0 down is that when you just concede a goal and you see how easily us overplaying from the back allows the best striker in the world to be clinical and score, we go and allow that to happen straight away. So within 5 minutes or 3 or 4 minutes of the game even starting, Chelsea pretty much don't have a chance to beat one of the best teams in the world because we're 2-0 down. And we know what happens with this Chelsea's team, with young players. When you're 2-0 down, I think there's an element of embarrassment there that it's like, bloody hell, we've just tried to play out from the back against the team that literally play out from the back, and we've conceded 2 goals against Erling Haaland as a result. City probably found it funny. Pep Guardiola in his press conferences is talking about how he doesn't even know how many first team players will be ready for the Premier League, let alone the fact yesterday the Manchester City team was like their B or their C team. They had Calvin Phillips playing as a centre-back for the majority of the game, and he was one of the best players on the pitch. That shows the levels of what Man City can do under clear instructions and the levels that Chelsea need to be striving for. What I learned yesterday, before we go into the boxes here, is that Man City absolutely is the golden blueprint when it comes to trying to learn and trying to know what to do, playing in this style that Enzo Maresca wants us to play in. Pep Guardiola has said he likes what Maresca's trying to do, not just because he's friend, but it's simply because Maresca has taken so much from what has made Pep Guardiola successful, and he's like, right, this is how you win trophies, this is how you build a successful footballing culture. I'm going to try and do that at Leicester, and now he's going to try and do it because he signed a 6-year contract at Chelsea Football Club. From the moment we went 2-0 down, I think the response there wasn't good, but it was also kind of like, well, we're already 2-0 down. if we keep trying to play quick, fast football from the back, it's not going to work because, right, we've just been proven there that we can't do it yet. So Chelsea allowed themselves to ease back into the game. And I'd say for the rest of the first half, for 40 minutes of that first half, we were probably level with Manchester City. And we go in at half-time 2-0 down. The second half begins and I'm thinking, we're going to go out there and we're going to put in a bit more effort, a bit more energy. Not really. Man City control the game again. We keep getting into decent positions. I thought Lavia was good. He was trying to control tempos. But then City would just win the ball back, look more dangerous on the attack. And once again, we go 3-0 down. I think Oscar Bobb scores the third Manchester City goal, or maybe it was the fourth. And within seconds of the restart, you'd think, right, Chelsea, keep the ball a little bit. Get our feet again. Get ourselves back in the game. 60 seconds later, it's 4-0. By that point, the game is well and truly officially, friendly or not, City take off all their players and put the mascots on. The game is done. Chelsea are not beating a team or coming back from a team like Manchester City from 4-0 down. And then credit to the players in the second half. The substitutions from Maresca changed things. Mudryk, who was just, I'm not even going to go into it really again. I might do in the six things boxes, but Mudryk was non-existent. Sterling comes on, added a bit of impetus to Chelsea, a bit of potency, and Noni Madueke was great. So we lose the game 4-2, but overall, I feel as though this match was lost in 2 5-minute brackets of time. Other than that, I don't think we were bad, but Man City literally had their third string side out. We had one of our best 11s out that could potentially start the season if Cole Palmer is not fully fit and ready to go, Cucurella, Nicholas Jackson, those are the 3 players that we still need to come back. But look, this could be very close to what we see in match week number 1 against Man City at the Bridge. So the fact we were dismantled so easily, the fact that City controlled such large swathes of the game so easily is very concerning for me moving forward. But anyway, 6 things that we learn. Box number 1 is a red straight up for the whole defence. As much as it was nice to be in Reece James's press conference before the Wrexham game, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that Reece has been good this pre-season. I think when it comes to learning that new role, stepping up, inverting, Gusto seems to be more acquainted with this kind of position already, so we've seen that a bit more. But Gusto was on the left wing yesterday, and he was going more forward as we were trying to attack, and I think the shape was off all in all. But defensively, we were so bad at the back. I thought Tosin put in his worst performance yesterday that we've seen. Levi Colwill looked really, really off the pace. And my concern here is that there's one thing trying to play out from the back, but it's also getting the tackles in. It's also the standing leg. You know, Oscar Bobb was dancing around us yesterday. But box number 2 and box number 3, I'm giving a red with 2 words in it once again. Awareness and overplaying. Because they go hand in hand. There's got to be an awareness. When you concede a goal in football and you understand why you've conceded that goal, to then go and concede similar goals again straight afterwards is the reason why Chelsea had no chance of winning this match within 5 minutes of the game starting. If we could have just understood that it was the overplaying that led to the fact that we gave away that penalty in the first place, which, let's be honest, I think on any other given day with a referee that actually understood the rules of the game, I genuinely don't see that as a penalty whatsoever. I think in the Premier League, VAR would have absolutely overturned that decision. But it's the same story here, and it's a red because we did it so poorly. I understand, and this is the thing, this is why I'm not getting so downbeat and so negative about it, because look, the way that this is going to work under Enzo Maresca, we are going to play out from the back, and it's going to be one of those things where, yes, it might be like, well, does he have a plan B? And I genuinely think during this pre-season, even against Real Madrid, it could happen again. It genuinely could be a case that we overplay from the back, we're not used to it. Sanchez is very like, with his distribution. The club will tell you otherwise, but that's exactly what I saw again yesterday. Doesn't really look comfortable with the ball at his feet. And he's giving it to players. And the awareness to do this is why it's a red. It's like you're giving it to someone who is under pressure. Man City do not let go. They are relentless. They just bombard you with running around you to try and retrieve the ball and be in possession once again. So I think those two yesterday, both the awareness and simply the overplaying from the back, was the reason why within 5 minutes Chelsea had no chance of getting anything from this game. However, there is positives to discuss here for Chelsea. And the two positives, I'm going to put the boxes in together once again. Noni Madueke with a goal and an assist coming on for the second half, and Raheem Sterling also coming on. I think what Enzo Maresca realised at half-time was that Gusto on the left wing and Mudryk on the right wing, it didn't work. Making the changes proactively early, because he saw that it wasn't working, allowed Chelsea to finish the game at least after another 5-minute spell of just stupid defending. We scored 2 goals, Sterling getting one of them, Madueke with the other. The Noni Madueke goal is brilliant. It's a lovely pass from Romeo Lavia, who for me has to start in the opening game of the season. And it's a great finish from Noni, and it's a great assist from him as well. Within 12 seconds of the restart after half-time, Chelsea looked as though we were going to be more exciting on the wings. What Noni does so well is he hugs the touchline, because that's where he operates the best. He knows that if he gets the ball, he backs himself to take on the fullback. And we saw that last night. He was getting crosses in, scored a great goal, brilliant finish. And the same with Sterling as well. And I'm going to make a call here. Against Man City in the Premier League on match day number 1, regardless of what I see against Real Madrid, I think Sterling has to be the left winger and Madueke has to be the right winger. I think both of these two players have looked as though the only thing on their mind when they've got the ball is to go forward. With Sterling a couple of times, the delivery's been poor, but it's a great finish. It's a brilliant volley with his left foot. And for Noni Madueke too, I think what gets into Noni's own mind is when he makes a mistake in a game early, you can see that frustration. There's always like this lean to the side and like a big sigh or a big huff on the field, and he kind of just like lumbers around a little bit afterwards. But when he's got the bit between his teeth, which yesterday, we're 2-0 down at half-time, we've had absolutely no outlet and no luck whatsoever against an academy guy on the right with Mudryk as the winger. Noni's like, look, I understand here that the boss has subbed me on because the other winger didn't do anything in the first half. And I feel as though in that second half, Noni was like, I'm going to make something happen here. And in a performance from Chelsea where we did struggle, we couldn't really beat that press from Manchester City, we weren't resistant to it at all, Noni Madueke was one of the only players, and Raheem Sterling, who looked as though they wanted to get Chelsea forward. I think Christopher Nkunku is going to be best deployed slightly deeper within the midfield. I think seeing him as an 8, and to be fair, I would be dropping Enzo Fernandez right now. I don't think Enzo is ready to be in this team. If it was me, I'd be going with a midfield of Lavia, Caicedo and Nkunku. That is what I would be starting with right now, because Nkunku does his best work when he is deployed slightly deeper. Yesterday he was the most advanced man and he just couldn't really get himself involved with the game. And if you watched the Chelsea City game yesterday, for the majority of it where the goals weren't being scored from either side, the majority of the match was being played in the middle. And what City did was try and keep things compact, keep things boxed, and Chelsea were being matched for it, but the way that City manoeuvre around the pitch, they just know positionally where they should be. And that was the deciding factor yesterday. When City had their attacks, they had Grealish, who played very well, I thought, and Oscar Bob as the outballs on the wings. And then as soon as they got it, they were in that position to just drive through the middle. And then they'd have players advancing. And Chelsea couldn't get that yesterday. As well as that, they had 4 big chances, City, and they scored each and every one of them because they got Erling Haaland up top. Chelsea, 4 big chances, and I don't think we converted one of them. There's a lot of work to be done, and box number 6 is a yellow for the work because, look, a lot of people were upset with me yesterday because I overhyped the players against Club America. I've literally been here this whole tour, on the ground, feeling the energy of fans, speaking to fans, seeing the players, seeing the way that they're training, seeing the way that they're playing. And I do believe there are positives. Even from this Man City game, at the back we look absolutely atrocious. Like it's night and day between going forward we look okay. At the back we look awful, seriously bad. We need to learn how to play together at the back. We need to learn when to play out from the back, when not to overplay, and just be sharper. Do you know what I mean? We've got to be sharper. And I think Maresca at the moment, it's all about lessons. I've been listening very closely to the words that Enzo Maresca uses, what he's saying in the pre-match presses, the post-match presses. Pre-season, these are lessons right now. Imagine we're at university, we're literally going to our lectures here. That's what the players are doing, and that's what we should be doing as fans. I don't think it's at a point already where we've had 4 matches, 1-1 drawn, 1 lost 2, We shouldn't be saying it's over, the season's ruined. What I will say is we do need a big signing. Osimhen is the guy. Look, the club at the moment, they don't want to pay him the wages. We've changed the structure, but we're going to lose out. The fact of the matter is, if we don't sign a top striker, I think we're going to miss out. We need more quality in this side. And people were saying, well, Osimhen can't really do what Haaland does for City. There were so many times last season where Haaland hardly touches the ball, but he'll put it in the back of the net. And I think Chelsea don't have any problems with getting the ball into good areas. Do we have the finishers? Do we have the people to put the ball in the back of the net? That's the question. And I think Osimhen would provide a lot of answers to that question. But right now, there's still a lot of questions here about whether or not we're going to be able to play this kind of football. My solution would be, Mr. Maresca, my thoughts are that if we're going to play up against a team like Man City, when we are still so new in learning how to play this way, there needs to be a plan B. There needs to be some in-game adjustments, because otherwise we will be punished. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this 6 Things We Learnt video. Please do subscribe to the George Benson Football channel if you haven't already. I've been out here on the ground in the US covering the whole tour for you. There's been a brand new video every single day, as well as these 6 Things We Learnt post-match reviews. So stay tuned to the channel. Check out some of the other vlogs because it's been epic. It's been so much fun. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Come on, you Blues.